This is drill 1 for incident management Dropbox assignment. Got a 2-story wood frame barn, fully involved, heavy fire venting from the roof. There are a few exposures, the horse trailer on the Bravo side and the Bobcat also on the Bravo side. There are 10 horses inside and a 250-gallon oil tank also inside. My initial report. Engine 3 is on scene of a fully involved barn fire with fire venting from the roof. This will be a working fire and a defensive operation. The nearest hydrant is at the entrance to the drive back to the barn. Engine 3 will be pulling a line to protect exposures. Engine 3 is establishing barn command. This is going to be command mode. I chose command mode specifically because I don't think the officer's presence is going to make much difference here. The fire is totally involving the structure. This is going to be defensive, so I think that moving those exposures, protecting those is the top priority, and my crew members can do that by themselves. It's better if I assign units than get involved in what's going on. So my initial incident action plan. I'll pick a controversial one. First off, the horses. They're not a problem. If they are not dead already, they will be very soon. It's too dangerous to go to try to rescue them. Fire is totally involving that building. Also, if we do try to rescue them, and by some miracle we can make it to the horses, their fear, their injury will make them much more dangerous as well for the crews. The oil tank. I really don't think it poses much of a problem at this point. Foam isn't going to work. You throw foam into that vent hole at the roof line or at the roof, and the foam blanket will just burn away. You don't know where the oil tank is. So we can flow water, we can watch runoff to make sure that it's not flowing away, but my incident action plan is really to just let it burn. I would surround it with hand lines, elevated master streams, but not flow any water. This would allow the oil, wherever it is, to burn away, preventing runoff from causing any problems. This is usually the most effective way to handle a hazmat, is to just let it burn off. It's how Dayton handled the Sherwin-Williams fire when the Dayton well fields were threatened, though it's not roughly at the same level of contamination, and problems aren't as severe, but it will work. Once the fire burns down a little bit, you can start throwing water on it. But either way, if you flow water at the beginning or you let it burn a little bit, that building is going to be basically a roofless, empty hulk with some walls. So you're basically just choosing the lesser of two evils. Command responsibilities. So in Springfield, this would be a working fire assignment. That would be 4 engine or truck companies, a medic unit, battalion 1, and that would be all you would get. It's all you really need here. We're not going in, so you don't need to have multiple crews. You don't need to have Box 27 to fill air cylinders or really rehab. So the incident commander will retain all responsibilities of the command and general staff. So that's safety liaison, and the PIO for command staff, and the general staff is ops, planning, logistics, and admin. All units would be underneath the incident commander. So you would have 4 engine or truck companies and a medic unit. That's within the span of control of 3 to 7. It's more difficult to manage 6, but because you're not having to keep track of them, you're not having to be worried about them as much as you would if they were inside. The stress put on the incident commander is less. So basically, the incident commander can walk the scene or stay at his command vehicle and just make sure that everyone's doing what they need to do, which is basically not flowing water until he says so. He might establish a Charlie division or a Delta division, depending on where his command post is. This would basically just free up some of his, basically prevent him from having to walk around the incident. Again, there would be 1 or 2 units assigned to these divisions, but for the most part, all of the units would be underneath the incident commander and answer directly to him. I realize that letting this building burn and trying to let the oil burn off, preventing the runoff from causing a problem, it would be an unpopular decision. Most of the times we throw water on a defensive fire to protect exposures and kind of just let people know that we're actually trying to do something. But once we are able to move the horse trailer, move the Bobcat, there's no exposure problem. And we can just let that building burn. It's an easy solution. It's controversial. It might be less conventional, but it would work. The conventional operation would just be surrounding it and then throwing a bunch of water on it. It would probably work too. You might get some runoff. You can watch the runoff and find out where it goes, but I really don't think so. 250 gallons of oil is not that much compared to what you could have inside there. What I would do, no matter how this operation went, whether you let it burn like I want to do or you just throw a bunch of water on it, EPA is going to need to be contacted to let them come out and work with the fire investigator and kind of see the extent of the contamination. But if you let it burn off, there shouldn't be any, or should be very little. So, yeah, that is drill 1.